the Bucket Hat Sew Along. I'm Beryl, and we're now going to start actually making the hat. Once again, I'm making the April Cobb design one, but the construction methods are exactly the same for the Oliver and S one as well. So we're going to start off with the side pieces. So hopefully if you've got the April Cobb one, you will have 3 of these. And we're going to make one, just using the one type of material. Okay, so what we need to do is right sides together, right way up, is stitch them into one long piece. So stitch along that seam, stitch along that seam, and then stitch along that seam. I'm not going to bore you with pictures of me actually using the sewing machine. You all know to use a sewing machine. So it's a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So if you want to go and do those 2 seams, so that we've got one of your pieces will be in a long piece like that, and I'll meet you back here then. Right, so when you've done those 2 seams, you'll be left with a piece like this. So remember, the short side is at the top and the long side is at the bottom. If you've got the Oliver and S hat, you will only have 2 pieces, not 3. And then I've ironed the seams flat. You can get away without finishing the seams, but what I'm going to do is add a little extra design detail by top stitching down the seam line. So 1/4 of an inch from the seam line, and that will give me an extra design detail. That's why I've left it flat, because it makes it easier to do than if it was in a tube. So that's what I'm going to go away do next, is the top stitching, and I'll see you back again. Right, so what I've done now is I've done all 3 of those seams. So I stitched the first 2 and top stitched them because it's easy to do when it's in a straight line. Then I joined the 3rd seam and then top stitch them down. You can always finish the seam edges off by overlocking or serging if you prefer, and then you can press them to one side or the other and then still top stitch, and then you just have the 1 line instead of having the 2 line. I don't know if, because I'm using white cotton on a white background, I'm not sure that you can just about make out the top stitching down the seam. So there we now have one part of our hat ready. So the next bit to do is we're going to add the crown of the hat to the narrow bit at the top. Okay, so I'm just going to pin that out for you, and then I'll come back.